Cardinal Hardware is your complete lumber yard with reasonable prices and outstanding service. When you need hardware or lumber, think of Cardinal Hardware. When you need great accommodations that feel like home, think of Oil Patch Motel in Eunice. Cardinal Hardware and Oil Patch Motel in Eunice, another proud sponsor of all Lee County sports and academics.
Eunice has a friendly small-town atmosphere, great schools and churches, and a low cost of living. The entire community is very involved with all levels of sports and academics. The Eunice Department of Motor Vehicles' new office hours are Monday through Thursday, 7:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m., and Friday, 7:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. No testing on Friday. Eunice, a friendly small town with a wonderful community and amenities. The Eunice Clinic is proud to support the Eunice Cardinals. Go Cardinals! You're the pride of Eunice. The Eunice Health Clinic offers many of the same basic services that many local physicians provide. They specialize in sick care for all ages, women's exams, physicals, health education, lab tests, and diagnostic studies. They're proud supporters of athletic and academic events. The Eunice Health Clinic is proud to back the Cardinals. Go Cards!
Eunice Public Schools is proud of their Eunice Cardinals, the Eunice community, and the staff of Eunice Schools. Eunice Public Schools has anchored itself as an integral part of the Eunice community and takes school safety very seriously. Eunice Schools have continually provided a quality education for the students of Eunice through good times and bad. The Eunice School District appreciates the Eunice community, and they're proud of their Eunice Cardinals. Eunice is on the move. Are you ready?
Eunice Pump & Supply has been around for over 30 years and is excited to continue their services to the community. They take pride in their employees and their hard work and dedication, and most importantly, take pride in the youth of Lee County. Eunice Pump & Supply is a proud supporter of all Lee County athletics and academics. Eunice Pump & Supply, 1810 Avenue L in Eunice, another proud supporter of Lee County athletics. Parker Energy, family owned and operated since 2006. Their team is known for their hard work and dedication, big enough to meet your needs for transport, pump trucks, vacuum trucks, and disposal services. Parker Energy and their staff are huge supporters of all Lee County sports and academics. They encourage their young adults to go the extra mile, whether it's sports, grades, or just being a better you. Parker Energy Support Services, 2350 Avenue O, a proud supporter of Lee County athletics.
Are you looking for a reliable and trustworthy auto shop? Check out Zia Auto Shop in Eunice. Zia Auto Shop specializes in lube and tires and accessories. They accept fleet company maintenance cards and do washing and detailing. Next time you need a dependable tire or lube service for your vehicle, Zia Auto Shop has you covered. All the services you need, call 394-0298 for all your lube, tire, and accessories. That's 394-0298. Zia Auto Shop, 1800 Main Street in Eunice. Proud supporters of the Eunice Cardinals and Lady Cardinals.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Steve Mueller with Judge Jimmy Jones as we're in Loving this evening as the Loving Falcons are going to host the Lady Cardinals tonight. And there is no JV game, so we're going to have a 5 o'clock broadcast here for girls varsity. I want to remind you all also tomorrow morning it's an early start time as the girls varsity game is at 10 o'clock in Hagerman tomorrow morning. So if you're planning to tune in with us tomorrow morning, you're going to have to get up early. If you've got kids, you're going to know because they're going to be on the bus really early, so they're going to have a late night and an early morning. So what do we need to look forward to tonight, Judge?
Well, you know, the two teams have already played early in the season. Eunice and Loving played the very first game of the Eunice season. I'm not sure if Loving had another game prior to that, but the first game, Eunice trailed most of the game and took the lead right near the end and was able to win by 2. I believe it was 29-31, I think was the final score off the top of my head. You know, it was a very competitive game, very rough game, very physical game. And so, you know, if that is anything of an indication of how this is going to go, it could be interesting. As I look at the scores, you know, and the records for these two teams, they are very similar. The teams that they've beat, the scores have been similar. The teams that they've lost to, the scores have been similar. There are a couple of little discrepancies there, but for the most part, they look very well balanced against each other. And the one big difference is size, and we have talked about that all year with these Lady Cardinals. They are not very big. We got some big hearts, and we give them heck as far as getting after them. We've got young ladies like Faith Hobbs that just get in there and get in the mix. Somebody forgot to tell her she's not 6'4", 250, because she gets in there and plays like she is. But for the most part, all of our young ladies, especially if you look at probably the top scorers on the team and whatnot, they're all lucky if they're 5 foot, and that's probably standing on their tiptoes, and most of them are probably lucky if they weigh over 100 pounds dripping wet, wearing some oil-filled coveralls. So, it's we're not very big. That is the big difference in these two teams, and this Cardinal team is going to have to take advantage of speed, quickness, and just a little athleticism, and they're not going to be able to get into a half-court slugfest with this Falcon team, or we could be in trouble. With that said, I think if I was saying this team's the favorite or that team's the favorite, last night I said I thought the Lovington Wildcat team was the favorite. I would say that we've got to be the favorite. And so I think we've got a good chance to win tonight. We've just got to do a lot of things right. Sounds like we're getting ready to get this started, but I think we're going to have the national anthem, and so we're getting ready to start that at this time.
Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the brave and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Faith.
All right, so welcome back here to the broadcast. We just had the national anthem there, and we're getting ready for tip-offs here. They're looking 47 seconds up there, but it looks like they're going to go to introductions. And I have to echo what you're saying, Judge. I mean, the schedules are, almost identical. The scores are almost identical. So, and we hopefully, like the last two games, we don't see Hobbs on the floor as much tonight.
Yeah,
When I'm talking about on the floor, I mean laid out on the floor. She's been taking a beating the last couple of games.
Yeah, we'd like to see her get through this one and tomorrow without being bruised up and whatnot, moving forward into the season and into these upcoming seasons. And we'd like to see that with all these young ladies. And that's why I know sometimes I complain about officiating, but I would much rather see a good, clean game without a bunch of tackling and tie-ups and all that. And so with that said, they buzzed the horn, the official standing at mid-court ready. Because of this COVID rules in this season, we've mentioned it numerous times, but there will be no jump ball. The visiting team starts with the ball at mid-court, and then they just alternate possessions. So as they look out there, it looks like we've got the 4 seniors as well as Isabella Garrett out there to start this game. Basically the same starting lineup that we've used the majority of the season, just the exchange of Patron and Rangel. So here we go.
Yeah, so Caballero's going to run 7th court. She goes over to Patron. Patron goes inside to Garrett, goes over here to Frazier. Back to Caballero, over to Hobbs. Back to Caballero. Frazier sets a 2-pointer, and it's up, and shot is no good. Rebound by Garrett, her shot is no good. And the ball's knocked out of bounds, and yes, so it's going to stay with the Cardinals here, as Garrett ended up with a couple of rebounds right there. Her just couldn't get it to drop in.
Yeah, it's good. She had those rebound stats here.
All right, here's Frazier again showing up. The three-pointer, it's no good. The rebound is off to Patron. Patron's shot is up and no good, and the rebound this time goes off to the Falcons. So not a good sign. We had like 6 shots on goal, and that's a hockey term.
Yep, yep.
And the ball comes inside deep, and they get on the board first, as that is King. She scores 2 points here to start it off.
Yeah, it looked like half our team was playing a man defense, half of them was playing a zone defense, and that don't ever work out good.
It helps to be on the same defense.
Yeah.
All right, Patron comes, she drives in, and nothing there. She's trying to kick the ball back out. She does, but it's out of bounds, and that's going to be a turnover for the Cardinals.
Well, in typical Eunice Lady Cardinal fashion, we're going to start down here, and I think we've done that most of the season where we're behind at the beginning. So
and we get the turnover on the full court press. Caballero goes over to Frazier, over to Hobbs. Hobbs' three-pointer is up and no good. Rebound goes off to Caballero. Her shot is up and no good. This time the rebound is over to the Falcons.
yeah, I think so far we've had about 8 shots on goal in the first minute and a half and have not been able to capitalize. We trail 2-0.
All right, it's over McDonald. Back up to McDonald. Over to King. And the ball is stolen away by Caballero. She's got to break it here for a layaway, and she misses the layup. Patron gets, well, for a second there. Now the ball goes back to McDonald. And they got Cooksley out there, too. McDonald and Cooksley's, they really take up a lot of real estate down here. All right, goes out to McDonald. She goes inside to Cooksley. Cooksley's move is inside, and she makes it, and it's now 4-0 in favor of the Falcons.
Yeah, so we trail 4-0. Under 6 minutes remaining here in the first quarter. Eunice with the ball.
All right, over to Frazier, back out to Caballero at the top of the key. Back to Frazier. Back to Caballero, over to Hobbs. Hobbs goes to Patron. Patron's wide open. She goes up for her three-pointer. It's no good. And the rebound is off to the Cardinals. It's knocked out of bounds by the Falcons.
Yeah, so that ball will be out of bounds off the Falcons. Be Eunice ball into their basket on the baseline.
All right, comes into Caballero. She goes inside to Garrett. Garrett goes back out to Hobbs. It's knocked down, but it goes back to Hobbs. Frazier now pulls up for a three-pointer. It's no good, and the rebound goes off to McDonald, or Cooksley.
So we trail 4-0, 5:26 remaining here in the first quarter. Loving will walk the ball up the floor in slow motion.
Now there's Haley King had that ball. She's over to McDonald. Back over to Cooksley. Back over to King. To McDonald. I'm sorry, that's Cooksley, not McDonald. Her shot is up and no good, and the rebound goes off to Garrett, and Patron's got the ball. She's bringing it down court.
We had numbers there, but we slow it up and walk it down to give their longer team chance to get down in the paint. So if it goes out of bounds, fortunately, it's our ball.
All right, Patron tries driving the baseline. Her little runner is up and no good, and that rebound goes off to Cooksley. And so another shot and no basket here.
So 4-0 still in favor of the Falcons. Under 5 minutes remain in the first quarter.
All right, King at the top of the key goes over to McDonald. McDonald goes over to the other King, so we have 2 Kings out there tonight. And it goes inside to King. She goes over to Cooksley. Back over to McDonald. And the runner's up and no good, and the rebound, we're going to have a jump ball. And since the first time, that should be...
So here we go, halfway through the first quarter. Chloe Jones and Denise Rangel will come in. Patron and Garrett will have a seat. We'll see if they can get a spark going here. Eunice trails 4-0.
And so that's inbounded to Haley King. She comes over here to McDonald. McDonald throws up her point. It's no good. Rebound is off to King. Goes over to Cooksley. And Cooksley double dribbles.
She traveled. She shuffled her feet when she steps. They called a travel on her. That'll be a turnover over to the Lady Cardinals. 4:12 remaining here in the quarter. Eunice trails 4-0.
Rangel's bringing the ball down court. She looks over to Frazier over on the right-hand side. Frazier drives to the baseline. She's fouled, and she's going to go to the line and shooting 2.
So Arissa Frazier with a nice baseline runner there gets fouled as she goes up. So she'll go to the free throw line to shoot a pair. The senior here in her second to last game in a Lady Cardinal uniform. Here goes the first shot, and it is up and in. So Frazier, the senior, puts the first points on the board for the Lady Cardinals. That makes it 4-1, 4:01 remaining in the quarter. Frazier will have another one with a chance to cut it to 2-point lead. And she makes it.
She makes both of them there. And they never posted who the foul was actually on there. So, all right, ball going to the King, goes back over to McDonald. McDonald's got one on the King. And Caballero gets down there and knocks the ball out of ground and saves a little layup there.
Yeah, good hustle there by Kendra. She's able to deflect that ball out of bounds. Unfortunately, they go over to the Falcons. They'll get the ball on the baseline out of bounds play.
So McDonald brings it in. She goes over to 32. I still don't have her name from last time. That goes over to McDonald. She gets the ball back. Her shot is no good. And rebound goes over, and now it's over to McDonald. Cooksley gets the rebound. She passes it out to Haley King, who goes inside, and that looks like it's going to be a foul there. That was to Cooksley, tries to drive in, and I think Frazier's going to get that foul. At least that's the way it looked like.
Called it on double zero. That'll be Rangel. Rangel with the foul. Loving will have the ball again on the baseline.
Trying to bring it in, take advantage of that height, bring it over to King. Back over to 32. I need to find out her name. All right, back up to Haley King. Goes to Cooksley, back to King, to McDonald. Out to the other King. Inside to Cooksley. Now goes over to McDonald, but McDonald's shot is no good. The rebound is fall up, and it looks like there's going to be a foul shooting. And so 32 is going to go to the line.
It's going to be another foul on the Lady Cardinals. This time, Loving was shooting, so they will get a chance to go shoot. Caballero picks up the foul. Loving will have two here. They missed the first one off the front of the rim. They will have one more here. Loving's got a sub at the bench ready to step in. The officials didn't see him, so they didn't buzz the horn. She makes that one, so that extends that lead to 2-5 here early. Loving with the sub. 3:13 remaining in the first quarter. Eunice with the basketball.
All right. Rangel's going to bring the ball down court. Across the timeline here, and doesn't look like anybody's going to pressure. She goes to Caballero. Caballero goes over to Frazier. Back to Caballero to Rangel. It goes over to Jones. She comes out, nothing there. She goes to Caballero. Back to Frazier. Frazier's three-pointer is up and no good. And the rebound is off Frazier. She drives in. And her shot is blocked, and Rangel got smacked in the face there trying to get that rebound. She's holding her cheek.
Yeah, so that'll turn the ball back over to the Falcons. Eunice trails 5-2, 2:40 remaining in the first.
And it looks like they're getting ready to bring Jasmine in the game. Well, there goes across the King. She's looking to drive the baseline. She's being guarded by Frazier. Go back over to 32. Back to King. Back 32, over to Cooksley. Cooksley was tied up there for a bit by Caballero. Now to the other King. Now they're going to McDonald. Back out to King. Top of the court. Over to White. White goes over to McDonald. Or no, I'm sorry, to Cooksley. And they're just passing the ball around top of the key. And 2 minutes left here. King looks to drive in. Her shot runners up and no good. But the rebound is to Cooksley. And she falls it and puts it in.
That makes it 2-7 in favor of Loving.
Rangel brings the ball down court. She goes to Caballero, to Jones on the left side. Back to Caballero. Back to Rangel. So we're just passing it around the top of the key here.
We're looking to try to throw the ball in, and once again, we're undersized in there.
And so Jones pulls up. Her shot is no good. Rebound is off to Frazier. Frazier goes inside to Hobbs. Hobbs tries to make a move. Nothing there. She comes out to Caballero. Caballero's shot is up and blocked. And the rebound is off to Chloe. Here's Chloe going for a three-pointer. That shot is no good. Rebound to Hobbs. So Rangel inside to Frazier. Frazier nothing there. She goes out to Hobbs. Hobbs' shot is up and no good. And this time the rebound goes over to the Falcons, but I'm not sure if
Kendra Caballero had hurt something. I'm not real sure whether it's a knee, an ankle, or exactly what it is, but she's hurting.
So it looks like she's favoring that knee.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's never a good thing out here when you start looking at knees and ankles, for those knees especially. So Caballero will come off the floor. Isabella Garrett will step on the floor, as well as Jasmine Martinez.
It gives us a little bit more height.
Yeah, 1 minute remaining here in the quarter. Loving up 7-2 in typical traditional Lady Cardinal fashion. We're trailing big here in the first quarter.
All right, they had a couple of in place here. It goes over to King. King goes inside, and that is to Hernandez. And Hernandez is fouled and looked like she's going to go to the line. And was that on Chloe?
I didn't think so, but it might have been.
Thought he said 1-0. So.
He sure may have.
All right, ball comes across. The ball's intercepted by Chloe. She's got a breakaway here. She's got King down there, and she drives out, and that is the first basket for the field for the Cardinals so far.
Chloe Jones picks up that first bucket, 7-4.
And they got the press on. Chloe's down there. They go up to King. They go to McDonald, trying to get to White. They've got him tied up. Now they do get across the timeline to King. 30 seconds left here in the period.
The scoreboard's behind. They still haven't given us those last points. And I don't think the foul count is right either.
No, and that ball goes out. That was Hernandez's shot, and the rebound goes knocked out of bounds by the Cardinals.
So 20 seconds remaining. Eunice trails 7-4. The scoreboard up here is wrong. It says 7-2.
All right, Rangel goes driving right, guarding King, drops the ball away, and it's going to be Cardinals' ball with 14 seconds left here in the quarter.
Yeah, they've now corrected the scoreboard. So 7-4, 14 seconds remaining here in the quarter. Just been a slow game, and it's not a good sign for the Eunice Lady Cardinals.
All right, Hobbs the ball to Rangel. Back to Hobbs. She goes to Jasmine. Jasmine's shot is up, and she traveled. And so we're going to turn back over to the Falcons with 3 seconds left here in the quarter.
So that's another turnover for the Lady Cards. We're averaging about 30 a game here for the season.
Yep.
She just threw the ball off the back of the backboard, so that should be out of bounds. There should be no time that went off the clock, but it did.
A tenth of a second went off the clock. Yep.
The ball was never in bounds in possession.
All right.
So.
Jones' shot goes up. She goes over to Gomez, and she throws her shot up, and it's no good. So at the end of the first, it is 7-4 in favor of the Falcons.
Yeah, so, we talked about this coming in. About the worst thing that we can do is play their speed. They've just, they are probably an average of 4 to 5 inches taller than us across the board, and definitely size is in their favor. So this little half-court slow it down game and slowly try to work the ball into the paint against our, or for our posts that are all of about 5'4", is probably not the best game plan in my opinion. So I think we're going to have to speed the pace up a little bit. I think the last time I looked over there, they only have like 7 kids dressed out today. I know that they have several that were on the COVID protocol, my understanding. We've got a lot of kids. I say that we should speed this pace up a little bit.
Trying to run them in the ground.
Try to run them.
Yep.
And we don't have much size, but one thing we've got is we've got some young ladies that can run. And so I would say to speed this pace up a little bit. If we're going to allow them to stand down here on offense and run 2 to 3 minutes at a pop, it's going to be a quick night,
right,
but a long night for us.
This is not looking good as Caballero is still not out there. So
I see them getting ice over there, and they're bringing ice down to look at something. So.
Yep. So Rangel brings the ball across the key, across the timeline. She comes over to Frazier. Frazier looks to drive in around the baseline. She pulls up nothing there and throws the ball to Cooksley.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what she was going for there. She went up to shoot and then threw it right to Loving.
All right, King brings the ball down court. She tries to go inside to Cooksley. Cooksley uses her position and gets in on Cooksley 3 times there. And finally, the rebound is by Isabella Garrett. So,
she traveled.
Frazier, Hobbs to Frazier, and Frazier called for traveling.
Yeah.
And so we turn it right back over.
So 7:25 here remaining in the half, 7-4, Eunice trails. Loving is really comfortable with this pace. They're just going to walk it up and try to use their size against us.
Yeah, so King to the top of the key. Go back to King. Goes inside to Cooksley. Cooksley goes in and is going to be fouled, and that's going to be on Isabella Garrett. And that's our 4th foul. Yeah,
so 7:09 remaining here in the half. Loving, once again, they're going to play this slow, methodical pace and just slowly bring it down and try to get it into the post that they have and go to the foul line.
Yep.
They make the first one. That makes it 8-4, so they've now doubled up the score on us, 8-4. We're still early in the game, but 7:09 remaining here in the half. She'll get one more.
All right, here's Cooksley's second attempt, and she makes that one too.
So that's 9-4, 7:09 remaining.
All right, Rangel brings it over to Frazier. Back to Rangel. She goes inside to Hobbs. The ball is knocked away, and that foul is going to be on McDonald as she came over face back.
Yeah. Yes, 6:59 remaining, 9-4 Eunice. Trails, 9-4 Eunice trails here. Eunice out of the ball on the baseline.
So Hobbs brings the ball in, or trying to bring the ball. She brings it to Garrett. All right, Chloe Jones for the three-pointer, and her shot is up and no good. The rebound is off to Hobbs, but Hobbs was on her knees, and they called her for traveling.
Yeah, well, her and Chloe both had their hands on the ball at the same time, so when the two of them grab it, it's supposed to be a travel. 6:50 remaining here in the half, 9-4, Eunice trails. And here comes Loving with the walk up the floor.
Go inside to Cooksley. She goes over to McDonald. McDonald's shot is no good. And the rebound goes off to Frazier. Hobbs has got the ball, bringing it down to the left-hand side. Looks like she wants to drive, and the ball, well, fortunately she got it. It went off her toe, but she was able to save it before it went out of bounds. Jones goes up. Her shot is no good. And now they're bringing the press down on it. Well, that's not, I don't know what kind of press that is. You have two people pressing 4 and 3 down court. So,
yeah, half the team's in something and half the team's in something else.
Yep. And it brings Kings out the side, and she goes inside to Cooksley, who uses her size and position for another easy basket. That's the third time we've seen Cooksley do that tonight.
4-11 here, early. It's 5:56 remaining in the second quarter. I go back to, it's just my opinion, but I think if we're going to play slow man ball against a team that they outsize us, outmuscle us, outweigh us in every position, I think we're going to get tore up down low if that's what we're going to do is play the inside-out game.
I don't understand this. So you got 2 people pressing.
Right.
And 4 people on Loving side down there. You got 3 people down here guarding 2. And that's just not a press I've ever seen that I think would work.
Well, I think that's just a confusion part on the kids. I think some of them are up in a guarding a man, and some of them are over in a zone. From up here, it just looks like we're not sure what we're in. So that's just the take that I get here. But Loving's out on the floor. I mean, it's definitely clear when you sit here and you look at the two teams where all the size is. The size is on Loving's side. And so I just think we've got to push the pace and get the ball going up and down the floor a little bit.
Well, we've got to make some shots, too. So far, we've got 11 minutes gone in the game, and we have one field goal and 2 free throws. All right, so Frazier comes over to Hobbs. Hobbs' three-pointer is up and no good. Rebounds to Rangel. Her shot is up and no good, and the rebound is off to Cooksley, and she's going to be fouled
by Frazier. So that'll be number 5 on Eunice here. So now Eunice is up in the press. This is a different type of press, which now they've walked Garrett up, so that'll be.
And so they retain the ball, so they throw it away on the inbound. And the ball goes over to Frazier on the corner. Her three-pointer is no good. Rebound goes off to Garrett. She goes to Jones. Jones pulls up top of the key and drives it. Nothing there. And the rebound goes over to McDonald's.
Our shots are just looking rough, and that was a rough-looking one there by Chloe Jones.
It's not really even getting the iron on most of them.
Yeah. Yeah, she's had 3 just really rough ones.
And that ball is stolen away by Jones. Jones looking to drive down there, not paying attention to her. She drives into Cooksley. Her shot is blocked. The rebound to Hobbs. And now they've got a breakaway down to Cooksley. And Garrett, well, no calls. They said all ball, but Cooksley was able to just push through Garrett's block and get the basket.
Yeah, so 13-4 in favor of Loving.
All All right, and a jump ball there as the ball goes through the hands of Isabella Garrett, and now we've got Rangel is out and Garrett's out, and we've got Kiki Parker and Patron in.
Yeah, we've got the back of our press back there guarding nobody, so that messes up our numbers. They've got to bring her up. They're always going to have numbers up here in the front if we're standing one back under the rim.
Yeah, so into Parker, brings it King. Him guarded. She goes over to 32. I need to find out that. 2 goes to Cooksley, who Cooksley uses her mass and gets in there. Rebound is off to Parker. Hobbs brings the ball down court. She's got Patron out in front. Patron pulls up short, and she makes the basket.
There we go. That's what we need to do is get some pace in this game.
And that's our first field goal of
the quarter.
Yep.
So we had 1 field goal last quarter. We've got 1 this quarter. She walked. I thought she traveled before he called the timeout, but they call a timeout there. Like I said, I think this pace suits us better, and you can see it already. We've been able to cut into this. It's 13-6. Eunice trails by 7 here midway through the second quarter. And once again, I just think the first quarter and the first half of this quarter, we had no pace. We're out there playing too slow. We're trying to play big man basketball, and we don't have any big men on our team. So, our goal the whole time has been to throw it into the post. And when you don't have any 6-foot post, it makes it difficult to do that. So even when we're throwing it into the post, we're just throwing it back out. I mean, I just, like I said, I just think that we'd be better suited playing that pace that we were trying to play there the last couple of minutes. So I like that a lot better. 13-6, 4-11. It's Loving's ball.
All right, bring it into King. King comes down to 32, who goes over to Cooksley. That ball is by Kiki Parker, and she causes Cooksley to knock that out of bounds.
There
so
you
we
go.
Get a turnover there.
I like it. 4:05 remaining here in the quarter. 13-6. Eunice will have the basketball here.
All right, Hobbs brings it to Patron. Patron goes down to Chloe Jones. About time she goes over to Patron. Patron drives up, pulls up a short one. Her shot is no good, and the rebound goes off to Hobbs. Jones goes up for a three-pointer. Her shot is no good. And Kiki Parker, hey, she's down there, another rebound.
Yeah.
And she was battling it out with Cooksley, who was twice her size.
Yeah, I like what I'm seeing. This is a much better pace. I like everything about it. Right. We will start knocking some shots down. It'll come. We just got to pick this pace up.
Well, except there they try to go back
back to the post.
Yep, and we get it knocked away.
Yep. Yeah.
All right, so King brings the ball down court. She goes over to McDonald. McDonald goes into a wide open, I don't know who that is, number 22. That's Montoya, and she's wide open underneath. Yeah, all right, over to Jones. Jones goes to Patron. Patron's three-pointer is blocked. And it's on the floor, but the Falcons get the ball back. And Zamora's in the game now too. I didn't notice her coming in. So she's playing kind of the center portion there, and the ball is short, and she tries to get the rebound. She doesn't have the height, and Sierra goes right over the top of her for the rebound and a basket.
So it's 6-17. We've got to get some pace on the game. We're still running a zone offense.
And then we just have a thing as though the ball is. And so Chloe Jones is going to get get a foul there as a blocking foul. That's her second foul. And that was, they didn't call the foul against Cooksley to run over Patron down there, but they call Chloe for getting run over.
Yeah. Yeah, so 6-17, if your things are correct, if that first one was her, that's 2 on her, and with Caballero out, that's kind of a scary
King
thing.
drives all the way around. They go inside to Cooksley, and her shot is no good, and the rebound, fortunately, is off, and the Cardinals are going to get it, and we got Frazier's going to bring the ball into Rangel. That's a different, Frazier, Rangel, and that's a much different lineup we've seen out there, but hey, we need to make a change, so. And they go inside to Gomez, and it's knocked away. The same post play, and we get another turnover.
Yeah, I think somebody thinks we've got some 6-foot posts down there, and I just don't get it. 2 minutes remaining here in the half.
King drives it, and that ball's knocked away, and Garrett's over there, so she goes back to McDonald. McDonald's three-pointer is up, and she makes the three-pointer. Cardinals are down 20-6 with less than 2 minutes to go in the half. Goes over to Frazier. Frazier's going into Isabel Garrett, and Garrett is going to be fouled this time by 22.
The problem is I think that we see that as a win right there, and so we keep doing it. And the reality of the matter is that's the second foul we've got called down there the whole game, and we've turned it over probably 6 times down there doing the same thing.
Garrett goes over to Gomez, or Martinez. Martinez goes over to Jones. Jones to Rangel. Rangel looks to drive to the top of the key. She goes back out to Jones. Jones pulls up as she's getting a block there by Isabella Garrett, and Rangel gets the rebound. Rangel pulls up a little short jumper and drops it in.
Good shot there by Rangel. Now we got to get that pace going again.
And Jones gets a steal. Jones pulls up. Her little jumper there is no good. Rebound looks like it was going to be off Martinez, but they're going to say it's our ball. So Falcons knocked it out of bounds.
Yeah, and now we're making substitutions when we've got some good things happening here. 20-8, 1:05 remaining in the half.
And we've got another one of the younger players out there. She goes at Rangel over to Jones. Jones pulls up her three-pointer. Pointer is no good. And the rebound goes off. Well, Frazier almost had it there for a second, but she lost control and lost the ball out of bounds, and going to be a turnover.
Chloe's struggling. I think she's got about 6 shots already, and I don't think they've hit rim.
Nope. So they bring that ball in to King. King goes down. That ball is intercepted by Isabella Garrett, who goes back to Rangel. Rangel's looking. She wants to drive in. Nothing. She goes out to Jones. Jones goes to Rangel. Rangel throws up her three-pointer. It's no good. And the rebound goes off to the Falcons, and we're going to have a foul, and that foul's going to be on Frazier.
Yeah, one thing that you can't do, and it doesn't matter who you are, if you miss a couple shots, you can't just stop. You know, when you're open, you got to take that shot. You want this pace. This pace is what plays into our hands, I think, at this point. And as long as we're playing this slow game, that's in the hands of the Falcons.
And Hernandez is going to go to the line because they're in the bonus now.
Well, we had 2 steals right there off our press that created some offense, but then we're hesitant and we don't go attack. We just stop and try to set up an offense, and I just don't think that's the way to go.
And Hernandez makes the first basket. 21-8, 36 seconds left here in the half. Right. So Hernandez getting lined up for her second shot here. And she makes both of them.
That's 22-8. Eunice trails, 34 seconds remaining here in the half.
Rangel brings the ball down court. She goes over to Jones, back to Rangel. And 20, I don't know her name. She's off the JV team.
That's Maribel Lopez.
Oh, Lopez, I'm sorry. Yes, it is. And so back to Jones, to Rangel. Rangel looks to drive in and throws the ball clear over the backstop and out of bounds for the Falcons.
Yeah, and so here's where we need that pressure. And see how we've got our post way too far back. They need to get up where they can be, like right there, where they can come up and help. So 11 seconds remaining here in the half.
And it looked like they want to guard for like a fast break, but there's no break there, and King drives in. Her shot is no good. And the rebound, Hernandez gets it, but she's on the line, and so the ball's going to go over to the Cardinals with 2.3 seconds left. And Rangel's shot for the three-pointer at that is way short. That would have taken a heck of a heave from there.
Yeah, So a rough first half there for the Lady Cardinals. We trail 22-8, and that's about all I can say about that one.
Well, and we've got 7 fouls, too. So we've got 1 on Denise Rangel, 2 on Frazier, 2 on Chloe Jones, 1 on Isabella Garrett, 1 on Kendra Caballero. From the free throw line, we're 2 for 2, and those are both on Frazier's. And then from their side, they have 3 fouls, 2 on Martinez, 1 on McDonald, and they've gone to the line 6 times and made 5 out of the 6.
Yeah, while we've got a minute, we want to thank our sponsors, Parker Energy, Brett and Penny Parker. I saw Penny down there. Didn't see Brett today. Eunice Pump and Supply, Becky Nogelmeyer and staff, thank you guys for all you do. Eunice Health Clinic, Leanne Reeves, Elma Romero, Nikki Blevins, Brian Henning, Aaron Pascal, Yadi Frank, and all the staff down there at the Eunice Health Clinic. Thank you guys for all that you do. The City of Eunice, Eunice Public Schools, Zia Auto and the Whitmire family, Cardinal Hardware, Ashley Davis, Chris Myers, and all the gang. Thank you guys for all you do. Without you, we could not bring these games to you. Here we are a couple minutes into halftime. Look like they didn't even put a full 10 minutes on the clock for the halftime proceedings. They are in fast forward here. And 22-8, Eunice trails. Just my kind of analysis of the half is for some reason someone has convinced the Eunice Lady Cardinals that we've got some big dominant post players down low, so we're trying to run a post game, and we are outsized down there, probably an average of 4 to 6 inches per position and probably 50 pounds per position. And so even when we get it down there, we're struggling to do anything with it, not to mention the fact that the majority of that half we played an extremely slow-paced game. Loving would walk it up the floor. We typically walked it up the floor as well, and that just does not play into our hands. We've got some athletic speed out there on our side. We've got a lot more players on the bench than they've got. It looks like they've only got about 7 people here today. I think we've got to push the pace and speed this game up.
We haven't had a game like this since we played Tatum.
Yeah,
first half score.
Yeah, as far as losing like this, yeah, I agree with that.
I mean, and the other thing is we're getting rebounds and stuff down there, but I mean, we are just like absolutely ice cold.
Yeah, we haven't knocked
our
anything
leading scorers haven't made a basket yet tonight.
Yeah, it's a tough deal for sure. It's been a rough one. There is no doubt. It's.
I mean, if we're not getting anything to drop, I mean, this is really. So it's across the board. We're just not being successful.
Yeah. Well, and once again, we're shooting over, not all the time, but a lot of these shots we're shooting over people in position that outsize us by 6 inches. And when you're shooting over the top of the larger opponent, a lot of times that makes it tough as well. And that's why I say if you speed the pace of this game up, you get steals, you get fast shots, you get a lot of times that turns into layups, and those layups aren't over anybody with the pressure and the press. And so I just on our team down there that can outrun just about any girl on the other team.
Outrun most of the girls in our league.
Yes, and we just have to push the pace and use that. And then if we're trailing 22-8, we go, okay, well maybe we need to do something different. But this slow pace against a team that outsizes us as much as this, it's just I'm not blaming anybody. I'm just saying that it looks like our kids, even when they have a rebound, I saw them a while ago, they had a rebound in a fast break where we had a 3-on-1, and we went all the way to the top of the key toward our basket and then turned around and dribbled it back out to set up the offense while all their big outsized post players came down and got in the paint, and now we're shooting the one and done most of the time because we're outsized under there. So 22-8, 3 minutes remain here in the halftime. Eunice with a pretty rough half, as far as the way you look at the season. I think you mentioned it earlier. That's about as rough a half as we've had.
There's only 2 games where we've had this bad a half. Well, 3 games.
Yeah.
Lovington and the 2 Tatum games.
Yeah, understood. Let me see here. Oh, you know what? I had somebody message me, and we've got the score flip-flopped on the I've got the score flip-flopped. I've got Eunice as the home team because we have the Cardinal head, but we're not the home team, so it should be 22-8 the other way, so I'll fix it. I apologize for those of you out there watching. I'm so used to being the Cardinal on this thing, and we're the home team, and the Cardinal's there, but it's not where it says home and away, so I was giving the points to the opposite sides.
So we have some buffering on our scorekeeping
tonight. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So Loving is back out here. They are ready to go. They took about a 5-minute walk over to the dressing room. Here comes Eunice out. This has been an interesting night of basketball already. They canceled the JV game because they said that Loving didn't have enough kids due to some exposures or sicknesses.
Yeah, and I agree with that.
Yeah.
We had like 7 kids suited up.
So we started, and the boys' game was canceled because of the boys' exposure. And so we started the game at 5 o'clock. The bus, it looked like, pulled up about 4:30 or so, maybe later than that, 4:35ish. You and I were scrambling to get all of our stuff hooked up just minutes before the start of the game, and the warm-up went quick. That was a extremely fast first half, and
yeah, we're through halftime, and we're only 40 minutes into this game.
Yeah,
not even 38 minutes.
And they didn't even, typically you see a minimum of 10, sometimes as many as 15 plus minutes on the half, on the clock at halftime. They put 7 or 8 minutes on the clock, and and that was like the minute the halftime horn went off. They already had minutes up there ticking. Yeah. And so we are getting ready here to start the second half. Eunice trails 22-8, and they're enjoying life on their end as they're up big here, and looks like Eunice is going to start with the 5 that started the ball game, and we'll get ready here for.
Yeah, they've got a number of JV players out there too, because there's 3 of the kids that have been in the game so far that I don't have on my program, and they weren't on their the roster.
I stand corrected. Kendra Caballero must still be injured. She went over with either an ankle or a knee, so they do have Chloe Jones out there to start this half. So, and they've got her over guarding one of the post players, so that's kind of interesting.
Yep. So bringing that ball, it comes into King. King goes back over to McDonald. Donald back to King, looking to drive around, get another bump there, goes into Cooksley. Cooksley uses that size and gets in, and the rebound goes off the Cardinal and then back to Cooksley. Garrett's trying to do it, and Garrett's going to draw a foul there. And that's going to be Isabella Garrett's second foul. And Cooksley's going to go to the line. She's already 2 for 2.
She knocks down the first free throw. She'll have one more. Loving now leads 23-8, 7:43 remaining here in the third quarter.
And she misses that one, and the rebound goes off to one thing and back up to Cooksley. So she misses it, but they get the rebound and back in play, and we're going to have.
So Bella Garrett takes a charge there in the paint from Cooksley. And I know that that's not a friendly charge to be down in there taking, but if I was them, I'd be taking that charge over and over, because she just drives in like a bull when she's coming through the middle.
Yep, so Jones has the key. She goes over Patron. Patron goes back out to Jones.
They've rotated Jones over to the point guard now.
She comes inside to Garrett. Garrett tries to drive around to King, and her shot's no good. Rebound is on the floor out to Hobbs. She goes up Patron. Patron's three-pointer is up and no good, and she touches nothing and basically throws it out of bounds.
Yeah, so 7:15 remaining, 23-8 Loving. Eunice is going to come up in a full court man press, it looks like. See, that post has got to come up.
Yeah, because, Garrett can certainly move around Cooksley.
Yeah.
She
traveled.
So we have a travel there on King, so we're going to get a turnover back here, and the Cardinals are going to get the ball.
I hope we just pick this pace up. That's what I'd like to see us do. There we go. I don't want us to walk it up the floor. I want us to push it.
All right, over to Frazier. She comes back over to Jones. Jones goes to Patron, who's open on the outside. Patron's shot is up and no good. And the rebound is on the floor. And it's the Cardinals that get it back after a fierce fight over there. Jones pulls up. Her shot is up and no good. And goes out there. And another Patron's got the ball. Now it's over to Jones, as we had a few kids laying on the floor there out to Frazier. Frazier goes inside to Garrett. Garrett's trying to get position. She's shot is blocked, and we get the rebound. Hobbs for a three-pointer and makes it.
There we go. See, we've created a scramble now, and the pace is just going faster than Loving seems to be comfortable playing, and I think that's the key here. She just traveled right there.
And no call again.
She traveled again.
And that ball is intercepted by Hobbs. Hobbs will drive down. She's going to pull up. Her shot is in.
Nice. See, this is it.
Around McDonald.
This is what we need right here. I've been saying this all season. 6:02 remaining in the game, or in the quarter.
And they got 22 over the Whites over the other side, and she goes over to McDonald and throws it over her head, and we have a turnover on the Falcons. So
it's all about pace, and you can tell this Loving team does not like the pace that we're playing at now. I like this a lot better right here, too. I think we keep that pace going. I don't think we stop and walk it up the floor.
All right, Frazier goes over. She's looking. Frazier pulls up for a three-pointer. His shot is no good. Rebound is off to McDonald. Brings it to King. King goes up 32. She goes back to King. She's being guarded by Frazier at the top of the key. She's trying to drive down around. She goes inside to McDonald, or to Cooksley, and I think Garrett's going to pick up her third foul there on Cooksley. Yep.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And Cooksley's going to go to the line, and she's shooting 3 of 4 from the line. Oh, no, it's just going to be out of bounds, okay. She wasn't in the act of shooting.
So Kiki Parker will come in. Garrett will go to the bench.
All right, they're trying to bring it in. He says Heising, get it in, and this time they bring it out to King as they have to go deep to do it. She drives up to the top of the key. She hands it off to Cooksley. Cooksley moves around, and her shot is up and in.
So get it in quick. Right here. Go.
All right, Cardinals got to turn around. Jones goes up. She goes over to Patron. Patron comes out to Hobbs. Back to Jones in the corner. Jones looks to drive in, and her shot is no good. And the rebound goes over. And McDonald Cooksley just runs over, who was that, Frazier down there?
Yeah, that's Frazier that got steamrolled there. 5 minutes remaining in the third, 25-13, Eunice trails.
And that was Cooksley, so that's Cooksley's second foul.
Did they call her for a foul? I think they called her stepping on the line. Yeah.
Okay. Well, darn. I'd like to have seen her with another foul.
Is that not a...
Anyway, and so we got a turnover back the other way, so we got a 3-on-4-on-2, and Hobbs looks to drive in. Nothing there. The rebound is to Cooksley. And Jones is just down on the floor there.
She's holding her shoulder.
Well, you had McDonald shove. You go back to the video, you can watch McDonald shove, or not Cook. You can watch Cooksley shove Parker clear out of bounds.
Yeah.
And we've got an injury here on the field, and that's Chloe Jones is down, is on the rebound as she's thrown off the ball.
Yeah, these are the things that frustrate me watching girls basketball. I get so irritated with officials, and they all want to say they don't do it, but they just, their mentality is let them play, and that's just horrible officiating right there.
Yeah,
And I don't, my thinking, I don't care if they call Chloe for the foul or somebody else for the foul, but there's definitely a lot of contact right there, and there was contact before, but...
well, yeah, I mean, Cooksley actually shoved Kiki Parker out of bounds, on the rebound. So she went to get a position. She had both hands on Parker's back and shoved her out of bounds, and there's no call.
But
and then right after that, we get this other...
Yeah. I think that, once again, I think overall it's just... It's rough officiating when you see that kind of stuff going on. I mean, ultimately, the official's job is to make sure that everybody, both sides, are following the rules and playing safe. And when they're not calling anything and allowing that type of physical contact, you're just asking for somebody to get hurt. And so,
I've seen less contact in rugby games.
Yeah.
Than what we've had here tonight.
Yeah, and it's rough for me because I sit up here, and of course that's my kid that gets slung down, but plus I'm sitting up here on behalf of the radio station, but I have to every now and then push the silent button so I can get up and go down there and let somebody have it. But 4:38 remaining here in the quarter, 25-13 in favor.
And fortunately for the Cardinals, I mean, so McDonald throws the ball clear across court and over everybody's head. So it'll go back out on the side. And so right now, we've got Hobbs, Rangel, Patron, Frazier, and Parker in the game. Rangel's at the top of the key. She goes over Patron. Patron looks to drive in underneath. She pulls up. Her shot is no good. And rebound is off to Cooksley. King brings the ball down court. And boy, they set up there. I don't know. Nobody was on McDonald there. And I bring it to McDonald. They're trying to force the ball inside of Cooksley. And a couple other players on the floor. Now they go inside of Cooksley, who's trying to be guarded by Parker. And the rebound goes off to the Cardinals. It goes downstairs. Frazier looks to drive down the runner, and Frazier is going to be knocked over in the shooting, so she'll go to the line. And that was number 5, who I don't have on my thing, but she picks up a foul. And Frazier will go to the line shooting too, as they just bowled her over. Yep. All right, so Frazier's lined up for her first shot. And she makes the first of them, so it's 25-14 now in favor of the Falcons. All right, here's Frazier's second shot. And Frazier makes both of them, so Frazier is 4 of 4 from the field tonight, or from the free throw line. Brings it across there. They're going to Cook and full court press, and they go over to Cooksley. Cooksley goes to 32, who comes out to McDonald. 25-15 in favor of the Falcons. Goes inside to Cooksley, and Cooksley can't handle it and throws and loses the ball, and so that's another turnover for the Cardinals. And Chloe Jones looks like she's okay. She's back on the court.
Yeah, so she just needed Dad to go over and tell her you're all right, get back out there. So we got a timeout. White Eunice within 10 here, 3:35 remaining in the third. Got a timeout on behalf of Loving, and so once again we've talked about it. I just the pace seems to be a lot more in our favor right now. We've sped the pace up a little bit. If you'll watch the Loving coach, and I've known Coach Martinez for several years, but if you'll watch him, every time we get the pace picked up, he is standing up telling his team, slow down, slow down. They don't want to play at that pace, and he knows that. And so I just think that we've got to pick it up. And if that means missing a lot of shots and pushing the pace, then that's what you got to do. I just think that ends up being a better game plan for us.
Well, when we've been pushing it, we've been getting points and we've been getting turnovers.
Let's see. Yeah, I had somebody tell me my score was wrong. It was. Chloe got slammed on her head down there on the ground, and so I walked down there to visit with her, and I missed that last bucket.
All right. Jones pulls up. Her jumper is up and no good, and the rebound is off to McDonald's. They try to break it out there. So they pulled off the full court press again. And King does an over and back there and dribbled over her head, so that's going to be a turnover on the Falcons.
That was a new type of crossover. I never seen one quite like that. That was a pick it up on one side, carry it overhead, and set it down on the other. It's a good crossover there.
Well, it's like the young lady that likes to carry it, who was on the team where she likes to carry it on her hip.
Yeah, that is
Take
true.
3 strides. All right, Jones got the ball back to Rangel. Rangel looks to drive it over to Frazier. Back to Rangel. Looks like they're trying to, the same thing, trying to get inside to Parker. Nothing there. Jones drives underneath. She pulled a nice little move there, and she gets her first basket of the night.
Yep.
Only an 8-point lead now. So McDonald goes over to Cooksley. Goes King. And we have just a blatant foul there as Frazier is shoved down from behind, and we have no call.
Yeah.
I mean, this is, well, we had one other game with the officiating with this bad, and we got in trouble for
saying that the officiating was bad.
Was this horrible?
So it's 2:30 remaining here in the third, 25-17. There's a couple of our parents have moved down to the sideline where they can scream and holler at the officials a little bit.
All right. Back to Rangel. Rangel's a three-pointer is partially blocked. Parker gets the rebound, but Parker tries to go up, and her shot is blocked by McDonald, but it's going to stay with the Cardinals. So down by 8.
2:16 remaining in the quarter.
So it's a much better score than we had at halftime. So brings it over to Jones. Jones looks to drive in. Nothing there. She comes out to Frazier. Frazier's three-pointer is blocked. Goes at Jones. Jones drives the key. Her little runner is up. No good. And the rebound is off to the Falcons.
Let it go. Let it go.
And
that's that pace again.
Yep.
We're pushing them, we're pressing, they're throwing the ball out of bounds. Those are good things for us. Even though it looks like we're not doing much, they're throwing the ball away because they're not comfortable with that pace. So Eunice is within 8, under 2 minutes to go here in the third. Right here, we got to quit walking the ball up the floor, and I just...
All right, Rangel to the top of the key. She goes over to Jones. Jones back to Rangel. Rangel drives the key, jumps up. Her little runner is up, no good. And the rebound is off to Cooksley. She goes over to McDonald. Over to 32. I have no idea who that is. Goes over to King, who had that strange crossover last time. All right, she brings it inside to Cooksley. And Cooksley's shot is up and no good. And another one, and there's going to be a foul there on the Cardinals. We don't know who it is. And is that going to be on Isabel Garrett? Yeah, it's on Garrett. That is her 4th foul.
Wow.
As they're letting Cooksley just run all over everybody down there.
Yeah.
And with Cooksley's just shoving, physically taking her hands and shoving people, and we're getting no calls.
Yeah. So Garrett goes to the sideline. Yeah, that's 5 fouls. She is fouled out. And so she'll go to the bench. Rangel left too, but she didn't need to. So Jasmine Martinez is in the game now, and 124 remaining here in the third, 25-17.
And McDonald missed that one, or Cooksley missed that one. So she's now 3 of 5 from the line. And there's her second shot, and she makes the second one.
So 26-17.
All right, Jones got the ball, brings it down across court. Jones drives around the end, and she's getting a block by goes out to Hobbs. Hobbs drives in. She goes over to Rangel. Rangel's shot is up and no good. Rebound is off to the Falcons. And Chloe trying to guard Cooksley down there. And there's definitely some significant size difference there. They go inside to Cooksley and go to King, and they throw this one away. And so it's going to be another turnover, and the ball goes back to the Cardinals.
So Rangel will come over to the sideline. Patron gets back out there. And under 1 minute remaining in the third, Eunice has climbed back in with 1 point within 8. Right now it's 9.
All right. Hobbs over in the right-hand side. She goes over to Jones. Jones looks at nothing there. She dribbles back out, goes to Hobbs. Hobbs dribbles around. She pitches it out to Patron. Patron nothing. Goes to Parker. Parker's three-pointer is up and no good. And the rebound's Patron. She follows it up. And so she tried to go up twice there as she saw Cooksley coming at her, or actually McDonald coming at her. And so, all right. So
now see, we're telling our post to get back, and if she's up here in the middle, she can
Parker
help.
Intercepts that ball, the inbound passes, and throws it up. Her shot is no good, and this time the rebound is off to Cooksley. Cooksley drives down. She goes over, and it's to King. And
wow. Oh, he called a push in the back. Okay. All right, so he called a foul. Looked like he called it. I don't know if he called it on 3 or 3-4.
I thought he called it on. I'd love it to be called on 3-4 because Cooksley should have been called for about 27 fouls by now. All right, over Patron. Patron drives around the baseline. Nothing there. Comes back out to Jones, and the ball is intercepted by King. And King goes over to McDonald. McDonald goes to Cooksley. And wow, so Parker gets called on that for a foul. Not sure that I understand that, but all right.
So 26-17, 0.8 seconds remaining. Patron comes to the sideline.
And they're trying to get it in, and there's no shot off there. So at the end of 3, it is 26-17 in favor of the Falcons, and we're going to hear from the people that make our broadcast possible.
Cardinal Hardware is your complete lumber yard with reasonable prices and outstanding service. When you need hardware or lumber, think of Cardinal Hardware. When you need great accommodations that feel like home, think of Oil Patch Motel in Eunice. Cardinal Hardware, and Oil Patch Motel in Eunice, another proud sponsor of all Lee County sports and academics.
Eunice has a friendly small-town atmosphere, great schools and churches, and a low cost of living. The entire community is very involved with all levels of sports and academics. The Eunice Department of Motor Vehicles' new office hours are Monday through Thursday, 7:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m., and Friday, 7:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. No testing on Friday. Eunice, a friendly small town with a wonderful community and amenity.
Let's go. That's the second horn.
All right, let's go back.
Let's go.
All right, we're ready to start the fourth and final quarter here as the Falcons trail by 9. And we still don't, so I think Caballero is out for the game. We don't see her down there. So we got Garrett, Parker, Frazier, Hobbs, and Jones on the court. And bring it in. King goes back over to McDonald. McDonald's being guarded by Hobbs.
I thought she walked.
As she breaks away from King, King's going to drive down her little runner. His shot is no good, followed up by 22. Don't even know that is. Parker gets it. And
Kiki Parker with a good rebound there. Forces the foul on the Falcons. So Eunice will get the ball here.
Yeah, don't let them get set. Let's get running down
Let's
here.
go.
Okay, Jones got the ball. She brings it across the timeline. She goes over to Rangel. Back to Jones. Jones drives up the key, pulls up. Her shot is up and no good. Rebound is off to Hobbs. Her shot is up and in.
Good.
So great rebound and follow-up by Hobbs. Down by 7.
Ball.
We go over to King. Bring the ball down court here. She goes over to 32.
I don't know how we keep ending up with Chloe on their post players down low.
And they miss it, and that's McDonald. And McDonald, I think, is going to be fouled by either Parker or Jones.
Yeah, that's a. I get irritated when I see the lack of consistency in calls. And I mean, I guess we called a swipe at the ball right there for a foul, and over at the other end, we're seeing a lot of contact as people are going up. And no call.
And there's McDonald, and she goes to the line, and she hits the first one.
So that's 27-19 here late in the fourth. I'm sorry, early in the fourth. 7:03 remaining in the fourth.
And here's McDonald's second shot. It's no good, and the rebound
that's
is
a-
Parker. And
That's
yeah,
a
McDonald shoves her, and there's no call.
Yeah,
I mean,
and then
Cooksley
they
shoved
give
her.
the ball to the Falcons.
Because Parker was the last one to touch her because she got shoved from behind.
Yeah. See, and then once again, we've got Chloe down guarding a post.
And got a jump ball there with Rangel, and that ball is going to go over to the Cardinals.
6:55 remaining here in the game, 27-19.
Trail by 8, plenty of time to make this up. Goes over to Hobbs. Hobbs goes out to Jones. Jones goes back over to Frazier. Frazier's shot is up and no good. Rebound is off to McDonald, or to Cooksley, who gives it to McDonald, gives it to King. And King brings it back down, and then Jones, as they pop up, and a little runner there as Hobbs commits to intercept the pass, and 29-19. Hobbs made a good try there, but they got away, and the girl was able to step right in. A little runner there by Frazier is good on the baseline.
She walked!
And just... And Parker's on the ground there. They get the ball. So Parker sets the rebound, goes over Rangel. Well, it's about time we see Cooksley get called for a foul like that, because she's been doing that all night.
Yeah, 5:52 remaining here in the game. It's 29-21. We're in this ball game. We just gotta clean up some of the grabbing it and throwing it and things like that. But
Martinez is back in the game for Rangel. Give Rangel a break after getting shoved down there.
and Martinez fits perfectly into the type of game we need to be playing right now, which is fast-paced,
goes into Hobbs. Hobbs' shot is up and no good. Rebounds off to Hobbs again. Her second shot is no good. And they get the bank, and Parker knocks it away, so no fast break there. They get it, balls on the ground, and it goes over to Jasmine. She goes with Jones. Jones drives down in. Jones' shot is up and no good, but Jones is going to be fouled. And I think that foul is going to be on McDonald.
Yep.
3-3, yeah, that foul is on McDonald.
So it's 29-21, 5:27 remaining. Chloe Jones will go to the line.
Should be shooting too. Have a chance to get this thing reasonable.
That's long, way long. Her shot just doesn't look right, and her follow-through is not right. It's on all of her shots, not just her free throws. But 29-21, 5:27 remaining.
All right.
So she misses them both. 5:25 remaining on the in the game. 29-21.
And nobody's down there. They got it wide open, and we got a broken coverage down there as Jasmine, she's not through there. McDonald walks 3 times down there. McDonald was
So
moved the leg all over the place with no
31-21,
calls.
5:12 remaining here in the game, and we've got to
All right,
get our
Jones
pace.
over to Lopez. Lopez comes back to Jones, to Frazier. Frazier back to Jones. Jones' three-pointer is up and no good. Rebound is off to Cooksley. And we're going to let them bring it across the court, pretty much uncontested.
Mm-hmm.
When you're down by 10. Nice moving screen there by McDonald's as she has both elbows up to the back. All right, 32, and they're just happy now to run it around and not take a shot.
We've got to pressure them and make them. I mean, that's the
Right,
key
King
to
got
it.
it. King loses the ball, trying to go inside. And, well, I guess that time for a change. And finally,
he's gonna.
well, I have to say that Lopez probably deserved that foul, but wish he got the other way. But
Absolutely, but we've allowed that type of play the whole game.
and Cooksley was going to go to the line. That's the second foul there on Lopez picked up.
Yeah, Maribel Lopez is in there battling. 4:19 remaining in the fourth, 31-21.
And Cooksley makes that one.
She knocks down the free throw.
She's 5 of 7 from the line tonight. And Jasmine is out. And Parker's back in.
32-21, midway through the fourth. Eunice trailing.
And she misses that one, and Hobbs gets
That's
thing.
over the back.
Yeah,
no
gets
call.
slapped in the head, no call. Hobbs comes down, she goes over to Frazier. Frazier from the corner, her shot is no good. And the rebound is off to the Falcons. And Parker's got,
Get it.
and we get a turnover there as Hobbs drive back down the key there, looking at, she's got 3-on-2 there, and she drives down, and she's going to be fouled, and she's going to be fouled by Cooksley. All right, that's either 4 or 5 fouls on Cooksley. Must only be 4 fouls on her.
So 32-21. They don't ever post the fouls up here. Oh, yeah, we got that one. That one rattled around and went in. So we're back within 10 again. Under 4 minutes remaining. 32-22. We just have not had anybody really have a very pretty game. It's just been a rough-looking game all the way around. She knocks down the second one. That gets it back within 9, and now we got to get up there and pressure. Ball. Yeah.
Goes there, it's over to Cooksley. That was McDonald, Cooksley. She gives off to King. King drives around, trying to drive the line. Jones intercepts that ball. They got 2-on-3, goes off to Parker. Parker's shot is up and no good. And the rebound is on the floor to McDonald. And McDonald bowls her way down, goes over to King, who's wide open. And that was Lopez shoves it down King. So that's going to be Lopez is going to pick up her third foul here quickly. And King is going to go to the line and shoot two.
I think Lopez is kind of in the game as the enforcer at this point, although she's about 5'2", maybe. But she's in there playing physical and getting after it. Loving steps to the line, hits the first free throw, 33-23, so they are back to a 10-point lead at this point.
Lopez is out, and Martinez is back in the game. And they make both of those. The ball comes, Jones brings the ball down court. She goes out to Frazier. Frazier's driving around the top of the key. She goes over to Hobbs. Hobbs drives the baseline. She comes over quickly. The ball is knocked in, and Hobbs gets the ball back out, and Frazier gets it. She drives around, pulls a little runner. Her shot is no good. And to Hernandez, now to Cooksley.
3 minutes remaining here in the game, and now we're running back to not pressure the ball anymore.
And we have broken coverages. We got the people trying to switch players in the middle there. And so King's wide open and makes a shot, and we're down by 13 as we're a little discombobulated on our defense. All right, Frazier goes over, goes to Jones. Jones pulls up. Her shot is no good off thing. Rebound to Parker. Parker's shot's no good. And we got a jump ball underneath the hoop there. And it's going to stay with the Cardinals. And, we got a timeout here.
Yeah, so 2:34 remaining in the game, 36-23.
And that's a full timeout.
Got a full timeout. While we've got a minute, we'll make sure to thank our sponsors, Parker Energy Services, Brett and Penny Parker. They do so much for just the youth of Eunice. Eunice Pump and Supply, Becky Nogelmeyer and staff, Eunice Health Clinic, Leanne Reeves, Elma Romero, Nikki Blevins, Brian Henning, Aaron Pascal, Yadi Frank, and all of you down there at the clinic. Thank you for keeping us all healthy. The City of Eunice, Eunice Public Schools, Zia Auto, the Whitmire family, Cardinal Hardware, Ashley Davis, Chris Myers, and gang. We thank you. Without you, these broadcasts would not be possible. There are schools such as this one and many others that don't get to have this luxury. So we appreciate you. Thank you, sponsors, for helping us to do it. So here we go. 2:34 remaining in the game. We're down 13. And looks like we've got some water on the court.
The coach got hands down there cleaning the floor.
Yeah.
All right, 13, down by 13, 2.5 minutes left, and the Cardinals have the ball. They'll go out to Jones. Jones drives it, looks over to Frazier. Frazier's for a three-pointer is up, no good. Rebounds to Rangel, and Rangel is knocked over, and they're going to call her for, Rangel is knocked over, and they're calling her for traveling.
Yeah, 2:25 remaining here in the game, down 13.
Jones going over to King, and the King's ball is stolen away by Hobbs. Goes to Rangel. Rangel's shot goes over to Jones. Jones' shot is up and no good. And the ball to McDonald. As they got a 2-on-1 down there again. Parker gets the ball away from McDonald. Gets the steal there. Goes to Rangel. Rangel and Frazier down there. Rangel drives the key, pulls up. Her shot is good.
That brings it back within 11. 2 minutes to go.
All right. Parker on McDonald there. And throws it away, and McDonald throws the ball away, and that's another turnover for the Cardinals, in favor of the Cardinals.
1:48 remaining. This pace just favors us, and I just don't understand why we don't do it more often.
All right. Frazier gets the ball. Drummond, her shot is blocked. It's on the floor there, and looks like we should have another jump ball there. as Hobbs is tying it up there with McDonald.
Yeah, and the ball will go over to the Falcons, and now we need to get that pressure on. We've got to find our people quick.
Yep.
We're walking around to find our man.
Bring it into King. King gets stopped. She's tied up. Don't understand that one, and the shot there, and Parker gets the rebound, and she's going to be fouled. So that should be 1-1, and Parker should be going to the line and shooting the foul, and that's on number 54, another one of their players I don't have a name on.
So 36-25, 1:29 remaining in the game. Kiki Parker will go to the line to shoot 1-1. So Parker dribbles a couple times, and she'll have her first shot up. And it bounces around multiple times, goes back to Parker. Oh, she misses the putback.
And good try there by Frazier, but the ball is going to go. She tried to intercept
I think
the
she
inbound
thought
pass.
it would went off the Loving player, so she just backed up and let it roll out of bounds, and then the official blew it the other way. So that'll go back over to the Falcons.
Yeah, she that same thing that you corrected me on once before. That on the inbound they can go back court.
Well,
so Park gets away from McDonald there, and they look to be to King. And we have another fouler in 54.
no, it's a 3 seconds in the lane. 1:07 remaining. Let's go.
All right. Out to Frazier. Frazier drives in. Her shot is up and no good. And the rebound is off to Hobbs. Hobbs pulls up for a three-pointer and buries a three-pointer. And we got a timeout here for the Cardinals as they're back within 8, 53 seconds left.
Yeah. It's 53.8 seconds remaining. Eunice trails by 8, 36-28. We've got the pace that we want right now. We've just got to close this gap, and we just don't have much time to do it.
We got a first turnovers on the inbounds.
Yeah, and we've got the kids out there to do it. I mean, you've got some kids that are very capable of putting some pressure on here at the full court level.
All right. All right,
So here we
here's
go.
inbound the ball here. Full court press and bring it downfield, and the ball is stolen by Hobbs. Hobbs brings in the rebound. Her shot is
foul.
up. And they say she's going to be fouled, and that foul looks like it's going to be on McDonald. And so Hobbs will go to the line and should be shooting two. So we need Hobbs to make these fouls. I think she got whacked in the nose, or she's checking to see Jones see whether or not she's got Frazier see if she's got a bloody nose.
Yeah, only problem with that is you draw the attention to your nose and they think it's bleeding and they'll make you go sit down. So sometimes it's better just to pull that mask up and boogie.
So,
First one rattles out. We need this next one for sure. 36-28, over 50 seconds remaining. She makes that one. That's 29-36. We gotta,
see, that's the problem. Parker is not paying attention, and that's we could have had that one back, and Frazier is going to be called for a foul, and so King's going to go down and be shooting 1-1.
Yeah, so 36-29, 42.8 seconds remain here in the game. Loving's going to go shoot free throws.
That's unfortunate because we had the play down there, and Parker just didn't see the ball on the ground.
But she was trying to face guard to keep that Kingsley girl from getting the ball, and so she didn't see it coming up behind her.
And the ball was off there, and so we got Jones driving down there. And Parker, McDonald pulled up, Jones goes at, and the ball is kicked there by, and no call. The ball is kicked by King. Jones comes up again. Her shot's no good. Rebound is off McDonald, and she's going to be fouled by Frazier, it looks like. So,
yeah, Chloe just has not been able to buy a basket this whole game. And, you know, some days you just have those kind of games. But we usually see her knock down a few of these runners that she's doing, and tonight she just hadn't been able to do it. So 36-29, under 30 seconds remaining. Loving going to go back to the line here.
And they're in the double bonus now.
Yeah, so they're going to shoot 2. They knock down the first one, extend the lead back to 8.
And so McDonald's lining up there for her second attempt. And she makes that one. They have been killer from the line tonight. Jones goes over to Frazier. Frazier pulls up. She throws a three-pointer and makes it.
And they called that a 2.
Oh, okay.
So that'll be 31-38.
Only gave him 3 there.
The official right here, I'm hoping it's a 3, but he turned and signaled. He held his hand down like this and pointed right at her. Yeah, I understand what you're saying on the scoreboard.
No, I know. So we'll see if that's
a 3. The signal for the 3 is both hands above the head.
I understand.
He turned and went just like this. So I don't mind giving us the 3. I hope that it's a 3, but he definitely gave the signal for a 2 on that.
Yeah, and I think he's 2 there, so I think that just went back. He's trying to tell him it was only a 2-pointer.
Well, the other one is the one that called it.
Yep.
This guy here was on the baseline and made the other. But, yeah, they're leaving it as a 3, so it's good with me. I like I said, that's a good thing for the Cardinals.
Down by 6, 20 seconds left.
So I'll make my adjustment here on the score app. It's 38-32, down 6. Loving will have the ball on the baseline. Ball.
Parker, that time Parker intercepted, drives the lane. The shot is no good. Parker gets a rebound. This time it goes off to the Falcons, and the ball is jump ball.
And that'll be in favor of Eunice. So 13 seconds remain here in the game. Eunice is going to have the ball on the baseline.
Down by 6. Goes out to Jones. Jones drives in. Her shot, she's hit. The ball's blocked from behind. The shot is blocked from behind, and Jones is blocked from behind.
Yeah.
But they're just saying no foul. It's just out of bounds, so the possession stays with the Cardinals with 9.4 seconds left. Goes to Parker. Parker loses control, but it looked like it was kicked out of bounds there by King. That was off of King's foot. I'm not sure how, but that's going to be.
No, they called a travel on Parker when she caught the ball.
I'm going to say because it definitely went off of King's foot. So.
Yeah.
All right, so 5.7 seconds. We need a 6-point play.
Yeah. They're going to let a couple of the other young ladies in the game here, and
they're taking out a couple of the, I guess putting their speed team in here is what they're doing. Goes to Parker. Parker's at Frazier all alone down there. Parker pulls up for a 3-pointer. No good. Rebounds, and that is the game as the Cardinals lose 38-32. Want to remind everybody we've got an early game tomorrow morning as the Cardinals will be on the road for both varsity boys and girls. 10 o'clock start time at Hagerman tomorrow morning. Not really sure what we can say here other than
this game, we end up losing by 6, but at one point I think we were down 14, 15 points, and we came back here right at the end, but one of those things, it is what it is. I think on the season we're now sitting at like 3-8, with our overall record 3-8, and so it's not been a great season for these Lady Cardinals. First of all, we didn't get to play a full season. We didn't get to play the season when we would normally be playing the season, and which everybody's in that same boat. But and then, to finish up the season losing to teams that we beat at the beginning of the year makes it all the much more rough, I guess, for lack of a better term. So with that said, the Cardinals head to the locker room. We will play tomorrow morning and wrap up the season in Hagerman, at least with an opportunity to finish on a positive note.
And ladies and gentlemen, this is my last broadcast for both the radio station and here for No Mark Broadcasting. And I'd like to thank the judge here. I've enjoyed broadcasting. Folks, I'm moving out of the state again, so tomorrow morning you're going to have the judge doing the broadcast by himself. I want to thank you all for listening in. I've enjoyed my 2 years here of bringing you Eunice sports, and nothing of the best. I'll be tuning in the future to listen to Eunice baseball and softball.
Absolutely. Well, I've enjoyed it. I know I've learned a lot in the short time you and I've got to do this, and so I'm hoping that I can continue, if nothing else, to be able to operate all the equipment. So it should be interesting, but I've enjoyed it. We're going to miss you, and we wish you the best where you're going.
All right, everybody, be safe out there, and we got a long drive home, and you got an early drive in the morning. So
yes.
Good night, everybody. Again, thank you very much. I've enjoyed bringing you Eunice Sports over the last 2 years. Goodbye.